James Lynch here for Home of Fight, and so happy to be joined by Jasmine Jasudavicius, coming off a big win at UFC 315. And get this, she's on vacation right now in Florida, but still making some time to do the interview. Jazz, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I bet. Vacation, big win at UFC 315. You know, you've had some great moments in your career already. Where does this rank in terms of life moments, in terms of getting that win over Jessica Andrade, a former champion, and doing it in one of the meccas in Canada, in Montreal?
It was crazy. I feel like before the Montreal card, my favorite fight was like Toronto, and I'm like, I don't think anything can top that. And then, you know, being in Montreal, fighting in Montreal, having the crowd there, the crowd was insane, and like being able to fight in GSP's footsteps, like I feel like it was just an unbelievable night.
Absolutely. And I think I was telling you this off air that you got a faster submission win over Andrade than Aaron Blanchfield and Tatiana Suarez. So that's got to feel good too, that you went out there and really made quick work of it.
Yeah, like, you know, she's very talented, a former champ, and to know that I was able to kind of finish her quicker than anyone else, then obviously I'm like on top of the world because of that. I didn't know that was a thing, so thanks for telling me.
No problem. And did you expect the fight to end that quickly? I know you were confident going in, but I imagine that was probably a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. You know, obviously when I'm training, I'm training for a hard 15 minutes. Like, you know, I'm not gonna sell myself short and think, oh, I'm gonna just finish her quick and, you know, not have any gas in the tank for the rest of the round. So when I train, I'm thinking, you know, it's a hard 15 minutes. But then when I was on fight week, I kept on thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have a fast finish. Like I kept on thinking that, and then, like even a little bit at the end of camp, I'm like, I could see me finishing a fast, and I kept on like having these feelings. But then I kept on telling myself like, stop with these. Like we got to be ready for a hard 15 minutes. Like don't be thinking that you can just finish this girl no problem. Like, and so I was like going through that mental battle, and then once I was there, I kind of like had my hand here, and then I felt I got my hands clasped, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I guess what I was feeling is true. And then like afterwards, I kind of like looked at my coaches and I'm like, you know, let's go, baby, let's keep this trajectory going.
And it wasn't just you got the big win. Obviously, Mike Malott getting his win too. That was really special as well. I loved his post-fight speech, by the way. Very patriotic towards Canada, which is a fellow Canadian, was really awesome to see. Just how cool was that night? I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest nights for your team in your team's history.
It was an unbelievable night. Like, you know, I got my black belt as well, which was crazy. I'm so thankful for that. But like being able to be in camp with Mikey, and then it's like, you know, camp is hard. We're always kind of looking at each other every day that we get in that it's a rough day. We kind of like make eyes at each other like, yep, we're in this, like let's keep doing this. And then on fight night, to see him like fulfill his goals, to see him finish his opponent, like it's so awesome to watch his hard work being fulfilled.
Yeah, it was awesome. Good night for the team. Of course, in the co-main event of your card, Valentina Shevchenko retaining her title. Did you get a chance to watch the fight? Obviously, that's your division. What would you make of Valentina's win over Manon Fiorot?
I watched the fight a little bit, but I was kind of celebrating with my friends and family, so I wasn't like paying hard attention to it. But you know, I'm just thankful that we had 125 fights on the card, and mine was kind of the most memorable, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it certainly worked out. Do you think Weili Zhang's going to fight Valentina next? I spoke to Valentina last week. It seems like, you know, she's kind of listening to the fans. I guess the fans want to see the fight as opposed to, say, Natalia Silva. Do you think that's the fight they'll make next?
I mean, I could see it. You guys would know better than I am.
Yeah.
You know, the media knows more of what's going on in the information world. But yeah, I mean, I could see it. There's no one at 115 that's challenging Weili, so you know.
Can make sense. Yeah. Do you think Weili could defeat Valentina? You know, Valentina won the fight, but some people felt like maybe a little bit too close for comfort with that decision win.
I mean, I think she could. There's always like anyone can win. That's what's so beautiful about MMA. It's that there's so many opportunities to win. There's so many routes to victory, and it truly can be anyone's night. I think that a fight between those two would be nuts because they're both very skilled, both technically and tactically. So I think it'd be a cool fight. But, selfishly, I want her to stay out of the division. I'm not trying to have more girls in the division.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get to that belt. So I don't want to bring anyone in. But, I get it. Everyone's got their path.
Well, that you bring up a good point. It is a bit of a logjam right now, especially if Weili sort of comes in the equation here. So we've got a couple things going on. Obviously, we've got Natalia Silva, who won on your card, who I'm sure you've talked to me before. That's a rematch I know you'd like. She just beat Alexa Grasso. That's a potential fight for you as well, a former champion. I'm sure that makes sense. And then we've got this Erin Blanchfield and Macy Barber fight next weekend. What do you think is next for you? Like, I don't know if you have a preference. I know preference would be fighting for the belt, but let's say that's not next. Is there any sort of preference of an opponent next, or you just leave that up to the UFC?
I'll leave it up to the UFC. I feel like because I'm active and because, I'm not one of these girls that are just sitting there and fighting one time a year. I feel like the UFC will be rewarding that type of behavior. And I think that they're going to give me a good matchup, please.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure they will. Listen, they gave you Andrade in Montreal. I'm sure the next matchup's going to be very, another big one. I mean, you're in that contender spot now, I would think. When you beat a former champion, you're sort of in that upper echelon of the division. So I think regardless of what's next, it's going to be a big fight. And that kind of gets me to my next point. You talked in our last interview before the Andrade fight that, you wanted some time off unless a big opportunity came your way. I got to imagine now you do want to take some time off. And also, I know you're going to Brazil for a little bit too, right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm in Florida right now, taking a little bit of time. We're having a little bit of a family vacation, and then heading off to Brazil. And I definitely will be training in Brazil. I would be silly to go to Brazil and not train there. You know what I mean? But in addition, I'll be able to do it a little bit more leisurely. I can enjoy training a little bit more than just like being on the grind.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mentioned that Macy Barber and Erin Blanchfield fight. Who do you see winning that next Saturday? Who do you think gets it done?
I think Blanchfield will get it just because she's been more active. Like, ring rust is a thing, and Barber's been out for a while. I think that'll go to Blanchfield.
So before we go, like, what does a vacation look like for you? Because, I always find it interesting with fighters. You have such a structured, lifestyle, especially like leading in when you had a fight booked, when you're in training camp. So what does vacation look like? Do you sleep in? Do you still get up at the same time? I know some people they will just get up at the same time every day to keep their, circadian rhythm going. What do you do on vacation? I guess is my question to ask you.
I sleep. Some days I get up early. If we got something exciting planned, like yesterday we had a big day planned, so we got up early. But I definitely make time to sleep in. I drink alcohol more.
That's good. Okay, yeah, get to drink, which is awesome. What's your drink of choice on vacation?
I like. Funny to say, but vodka and Pedialyte.
Okay. Fair enough. No, hey, get your electrolytes in and get your alcohol in. No, that makes sense. Actually, that's a good combo. I don't know how that would taste, but does it taste good?
Well, it does, because in the States here, they have a whole bunch of different Pedialytes. So my favorite one is coconut. So I'll do like coconut Pedialyte with some vodka or some rum. It's like,
excellent. Okay, they gotta call that the Jasmine or something. I don't know. Make your own like custom drink or something like that. That's cool. And then is it like do you have anything planned? And then I guess my other question is, when are you leaving for Brazil? So you're in Florida right now. Are you going to Brazil next week, or when are you heading out?
Yeah, I head out on Friday. This week we're actually going to head over to Disney and
nice.
See what Florida has to offer. We went out yesterday to like this park and like went looking for gators, and Chris has family here, so they know all like the spots that are in tourist spots, and so they're showing us an amazing time in Brazil. I'm going to be with a local there, so I know that she'll be able to show me everywhere, like the same idea, like going to the local spots, and I'm excited to like eat my way through Brazil and try all the food and just experience like the culture, and I can't wait.
I'm not going to keep you away from the vacation any longer, Jasmine. Thank you so much for doing this. Enjoy the time off. It's well deserved. Anyone you want to thank before we get out of here? Sponsors, social media, anything like that? I'll give you the last word.
just always want to thank my team, like our top team, and my coaches, all my teammates. I miss them so much. I feel like I was only home for like a couple days, so I only saw them briefly. But I wouldn't be able to do this without my coaches and my teammates. So just always thankful to them.